Hello and welcome to the video demonstration of this is a part 2 video demonstration of my timeline application that I developed using Java. So, as you can see, we are in the methods class. This holds all the main methods that I use for the timeline application. So here I have a method to create an historical figure. So what happens here is that I get the array list of historical figures, and I create a new historical figure. So I create an instance of historical figure class with the name James, and then I've done one for Adam, David, Arthur, Frank, and so on and so forth. So at the moment I've only done 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one here is just an option for n/a, which means not applicable. So if they're creating an event and there's no historical figure assigned to that event, then they would just simply click not applicable. So that's very basic here. The next method is set event in text area method, which basically sets each event into the text area one by one, and so it will display one event at a time, and after that you have a previous event method here, which basically gets the previous event in the timeline, so it allows the user to scroll backwards through the timeline, and then the next event method allows the user to scroll forwards through the timeline. Next, we have save to JSON method, where we save the current timeline. So what we've done first of all is we've created a variable called result with the data type of string. So it's an empty string here, and what happens is that we have a JSON array called array. So we create a new JSON array called array, and then we have a for loop here, which says each event with figure has becomes e. So, and then what happens here, so we create a JSON object, so event object, so which is a new JSON object, and then in this event object we put a description of the event. So we use the method get event description, where we'll get the event's description. So this particular part here is basically creating a key value pair. So our key is the description, and our value is obviously the event description. So then we've done the same for the others. So for example, we create one for the person / the historical figure. So a JSON object called person JSON, and basically we put the name of that historical figure inside this key value pair. So the key will be name, and then the actual name of the historical figure. So we use the method get figure dot get name, which gets the name of the historical figure. And then we have the event. So once we've created the key value pair, we put we then create another then we grab the event object and we put the figure and we also put the other JSON object, which is a person JSON. We put that. So we put the person JSON inside this event object called the event object here, the first one that we created. So in the end here we have an array. So we say array. So our array, we say array.add event object. So we add our JSON object called event object to the JSON array. Then our result, which is a string, we say that this string called result is equal to the array, to the JSON array, and we convert our JSON array to a JSON string. So convert the JSON array to string and store it in the string result. Here we've got a try catch block. We create a new JSON file and we create a file writer and we write the string result to info.json file, and we close the stream. Then if an exception occurs, then we'll catch the exception and display an error message saying something went wrong with saving the events. Load JSON here, where once we've saved it, and if the user was to close the application, they would open it up again, and we would then need a method to load the JSON, whatever is saved inside the JSON file. So we need to load all the events back onto the timeline. So we use the load JSON method. So we create a new JSON phraser, and then we create a new array list of events called input array, and then we have a file reader that reads the JSON array, and then we have an exception. We have a try catch block which will catch any exception errors. So if there was an issue here, then we would have an error message popping up saying something went wrong uploading the file. Next, we say each object in the array becomes a JSON object. So in the array, each object in the array becomes a JSON object. Then we create an instance of event with figure for each JSON object, and we add the objects to the array. And then we copy the input array to the event list array. So our current array that we have within the application is called event list. So what we would do is that once we've added everything into our input array, we would then grab that and put it inside the event list array. So here we have a method called add event. So So we set the string variable to what is in the text involvement. So what happens here is we have a text box called text involvement, and we would get whatever is inside that text box and put it into this variable called inv, and the same for date, title, and description. So all these variables, whatever is inside the text box, gets stored inside these variables. And we have here a validation to check if fields are empty and display an error message. So if any of these four if the description is empty, or the date or the title is empty, then a message will pop up saying that you cannot leave description, year, or title blank. They're mandatory fields. So in order to create an event, you must have at least the year of the event, the title of the event, the title of the event, the year that it took place in, and a small description. Otherwise, if it is valid, then we create an instance of event with figure, and we add that to our array called event list. The next method here is the delete current event method, which basically it will delete the current event that is currently being displayed on the timeline. So once the button's clicked, a message will pop up saying you've deleted this event, whatever the event is called. So it would be the title of the event. So you'd say, oh, you've deleted this event, and then we would set the text area blank and delete the current event and remove it from the array list. So it's permanently been removed, and we save everything to JSON. So we call the save to JSON method, which is here above, and this method runs and saves everything to JSON. Thank you for listening. This was part 2 of our video demonstration.